College community. Paul, you got a little something for us.
Well, thank you, Dave, for that nice introduction. We got Iran in the news again.
Iran, I walked.
Your friend and mine, Evan Mickham, Meacham,
yeah,
whichever you prefer.
Big friend of mine. A big fan of his.
Big fan, yes. What else do we have here? Well, we got the embassy, Manila, Philippines. John Poindexter, back in the news again. Wildlife preserves and babies and much, much more.
Nukem, yeah. Okay.
Nukem.
Right. You're doing a good job of shuffling the paper. That's a good sound effect there.
Thank you.
You got another sound effect for us, too? Oh, I see. That's your monitor. Sophisticated monitoring.
So I got my coffee, I got my papers. Now the weather is, we'll have a condensed sports version.
A condensed sports, all right.
The weather is
Short
updated, but I really have to read through it to get it out right, or properly, shall we say.
Is it going to rain?
So, and Herbie Hancock is back in the news.
Herbie, all right. Is it going to rain?
It's going to look good for the weekend.
All right.
It's going to go cool on Sunday
Good.
for Monday and Tuesday as well.
Glad to hear. We got time for one more tune, and then we'll be going to the...
My name is Lori Jessup. You're listening to WPUM FM Rensselaer, Indiana. There is a windstorm in here, very bad. Now the 12 o'clock news and sports with Paul Samatovich. Go, Paul.
Well, thank you, Lori. We're here at Rensselaer News Central. I'm Paul Samatovich with the WPUM News Digest. Thank you. Cut those machines. Oh, it's wild in here. We got news coming out of all over. Oh, my God. Oh, jeez. We just ripped the last paper right off the press. Now, the day in the news, a jury in Phoenix convicted a former aide to former Arizona Governor Evan Mickham and a five-term congressman of theft by extortion. The jury found Sam Steiger guilty of threatening to fire a state worker unless he voted to support an appointee of the impeached governor. And hundreds of people were delayed by flying out of Seattle-Tacoma Airport yesterday. Someone apparently bolted through a security checkpoint. As a result, passengers were ordered off planes to be rechecked by metal detectors. Authorities did not find the person who ran through the detector. Sources say it could have been a mad Iranian, but we don't know. Siamese twins. Oh goodness, we have phones in the newsroom. Okay, I guess we'll let that. I need a drink coffee. Siamese twins were separated at the Johns Hopkins Hospital in Baltimore 7 months ago and have gone home to West Germany. Benjamin and Patrick Binder, who are now 14 months old, flew home yesterday. They will spend some time in the children's clinic near their home in Bolivia. Oh my God, they just crashed into their house. They're going back to the hospital, folks. Oh goodness. It's not a very pretty sight. There's Siamese all over the place. Oh, wildlife crews have captured a 500-pound bear that strolled into Northern California. Oh, goodness. It's total pandemonium in the newsroom, folks. Getting back to the 500-pound bear that strolled the Northern California town in Cloverdale. It had been frightened by people who were peering through the windows and ransacking garbage cans. A tranquilizer dart felled the touring bear. Oh, God. On a lighter note, Iran's official news agency says the hijackers of Kuwaiti jetliner at Mashhad Airport pulled a male passenger out of the plane onto a stairway leading to a runway and fired three shots into the air.
Paul, can I interrupt you just 1 second?
Yes, you may, Joe.
Is it true that you can't play softball? Your nickname is Paul Drop the Ball Samatovich?
Time, if I had a bad day, I may have.
I think you have.
Well,
don't include that in the sports.
Every day, but anyhow.
Nothing. Shut up, Jessup.
Nancy, how you doing?
Oh, I've been hit.
Welcome to our newsroom. Thousands of demonstrators against the American military bases in the Philippines ended their 2-mile march to Manila today by clashing with police outside the U.S. Embassy. At least 10 law officers were injured. And Secretary of State Schultz was to fly straight home to Washington today after ending the latest search for a peace in the Middle East. Instead, he stopped off at Cyprus for a surprise meeting with Lebanese presidential Gamil. Oh, my. What else can we say in the news today? Oh, my. That's what they had. That was the expression of the people in Tokyo after the stock exchange closed today, folks. Yes. Everybody was crazy. The profit-taking pulled the average price down from a new record high and set a midday. People were screaming in the streets. It was total pandemonium when they found out that the prices were falling in Hong Kong and Spain. They were just going nuts. Oh, God. Oh. Yes, a 21-year-old baby is in critical but stable condition after receiving a new heart and a 5-hour transplant operation yesterday at California's Loma Linda University Medical Center. Her mother was screaming when she found out that the baby is coming through. Whoopi Goldberg and Morgan Fairchild and Danny DeVito, Robert Hayes, and Henry Winkler are among the 4,000 people who ended up in the dark last night at UCLA Poly Pavilion. A power outage knocked out the lights, forcing postponement until tonight of the program dedicated to the AIDS victims. Nukem. Goodness. A 6th grader in upstate New York says he may go to court to win the right to wear a mohawk punk haircut. Officials at the Sockett's Harbor Central High School say they may expel Matt Youngs if he doesn't change the style of his hair. Something Joe Billett should do to his hair. Okay. Testimony before congressional panel today included a charge that the Nicaraguan rebels used proceeds from cocaine trafficking to help finance their war effort against the Sandinista government. The claims... Hello, baby! Yeah, they went to door-to-door house selling, and that's the kind of... Anyhow, came to convicted drug traffickers and 3 rebel officials. One witness serving a prison term on cocaine charges claimed that he donated up to $5 million in weapons and aircraft to the Contras at the time the U.S. military aid was cut off. And the reorganization of Texaco is complete today. The nation's 3rd largest oil company emerged from bankruptcy today by paying Pennzoil Company $3 billion. The largest cash settlement in U.S. history. It took about 1 hour for the money to move across the wires from New York into Pennzoil's account in Texas. The payment ended a bitter 4-year illegal battle over ownership of the Getty Oil Company. Did you guys know that? Forget it. A gunman holding about 50 people aboard a Kuwaiti jetliner in Mashhad. This is a recap on a earlier story. Reported from Iran pulled a male passenger to the plane's doorway today and fired shots into the air. Iran's news agency says just before that happened, the plane's captain told the airport control tower that the passenger was being beaten by the hijackers. And, your friend and mine, John Poindexter, Oliver North, and Albert Hakim think the criminal charges against them in the Iran-Contra affair were tainted by their testimony before Congress last year. They've asked federal to drop the charges. And what else do we have in the news today? We blow that off. Radio stations in the capital of Honduras say at least 4 people have been killed in a violent demonstration. It was total havoc in the streets, something of what you're hearing of now. More than 1,000 demonstrators stormed and set a fire to the annex of the U.S. Embassy in Tegucigalpa. I don't know, I can't really read that. Honduras language last night. But anyhow, the Radio America, a privately owned Honduran national radio station, say at least 4 people were killed by shots fired from the inside the embassy annex. CNN says 5 to 7 people were believed to have been killed. Anything else do I need to read here? I think we just about covered it all. I'll read the weather. Where's the weather? Oh, there it is. Well, today we're going to have highs in the 60s to the 70s. Northeast winds at 10 to 15 miles an hour. That actually diminished 50 miles an hour from 2 days ago when the Pumas were trying to run in a monsoon-like weather. Yeah, that was the music background really puts a real good uplift to the news. What else do we have here? Humidity is down 25%. Tonight we'll have lows in the 30s and sunny and mild weather conditions on up until Monday, where weather conditions will turn cold, a little more wind, and more chances for rain. We'll be back with a condensed version of Puma Sports right after this play.
She said, "How can you put me in a place like this?" And I kept saying, "What do you mean?" And she would start crying. Then she told me there was this aide that kept molesting her.
In 1985, a California radio station broadcast a 10-part expose on life in a nursing home.
Thank you, Lori, for that very professional ring into the news. Today in sports, Calvin Carter helped beat Valparaiso in the track events that he was running in. What exactly did he run in? Well, we can't get that for you right now, but they did beat Valparaiso. And as we all know, Little 500 weekend is coming up. People will be racing go-karts all over Puma Land, hopefully staying on the track and not getting into any accidents. Joey, what will you be doing as far as the Little 500? Joey will be getting his exercise by running. It's a kind of a new sport they have here during the races. Each DJ runs to a keg and runs back and sees how fast he can drink it. That's a new type of game, of sports that they're trying to promote here at the St. Joseph. I guess we can relay. Can we relate any more on the Puma? Not relay. I mean, talk more. I reflect? No, that's in church.
What's to reflect about?
Is there any more to talk about on sports besides the Little 5? I mean, track meets will be coming up Tuesday for the Puma men.
I know the drivers are
The drivers are excited about the race and all the power between their legs. Anything else? The Puma women will have a track meet on Saturday. That's kind of bad, but we do hope that they win and make a good name and really live up to their ability as far as their sports fundamentals. Anything else? No, just everybody's really excited about the Little 500, and I guess what the winning is $500 now. 500, and the race is only like 2 hours long. Got a moosh. Yes, it's a wild and crazy news, weather and sports edition to the Puma.
You're about done.
I'm about done.
Let's hear some Big Pig, Jessup.
Well, thank you for listening. It's been a wild news report this Friday. I hope everybody's safe this weekend, watches what they're doing. I'm Paul Simonovich, and I'll see you Wednesday. Well, in fact, I'll be interviewing some of the guys on the old 500 races. Excuse me? Drivers/pit people. And we'll get more on the race as it escalates through the weekend. Thank you. I'm Paul Simonovich with a WPUM News Digest.